Hello and welcome to Hibs TV. It's been almost a month since we were last here playing in front of our home fans, but today we welcome Cinch Premiership League leaders Celtic here at Easter Road. It's been a tricky last month or so for the Hibees with away trips to Hearts and Rangers, and it doesn't get any easier today as we welcome Brendan Rodgers' side. But one man who knows Hibs and Celtic all too well joins me today. I'm delighted to say that Scott Brown is beside me. How are you, Scott?
I am very well. Yourself?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Before we start previewing today's game, I just wanted to take a moment just to take you back on memory lane and look back at your time here at Easter Road. How was that for you?
Yeah, it was fantastic, and I've got fond memories of Easter Road playing for Hibs, and I love my time coming through here because how it happened, we were lucky enough Bobby was a manager, and we all got an opportunity due to finances and stuff that he had to get a lot of the older players out that were on good money and get all the young ones coming through. So no, it was fantastic at the time because myself, Kevin Thompson, Riordan, Whittaker, O'Connor, we were all mates, and we all played in the under-21s together, and we were all lucky enough to get our opportunity in first team, and we all jumped at the opportunity, and we thrived off that chance as well. And I don't think any other club in the whole time I've came through has had so many Scottish players at the same time coming through. So no, it was fantastic for us to have that opportunity to come through as young pros as well, but to play in front of 15,000-20,000 every week was exceptional for us.
Yeah, it must have been a real good grounding for you to go on to have the magnificent career that you have had.
I learned a lot about myself and about Scottish football here, and we had the shed over there. We didn't have the luxury of the big new stand there, but it was a great stadium for us. We had a slope. I was rapid going down one way and I was very slow going up the other way, so there's been a lot of change at Easter Road, but it's all for the better.
Yeah, absolutely, and I suppose one of the biggest highlights for you was the League Cup title.
Yeah, 2007. It was great because I'd never won anything before. We played at Hibs a couple of times. We've been beaten the final the year before, or 2 years before, against Livingston after beating Rangers and Celtic, which was a killer for us because we had 40,000 Hibs fans going through and Livy had 5,000. So we had a bit of a nightmare, and especially myself that day as well. I should have probably scored early doors, but it wasn't to be. But we were lucky enough we had that opportunity to come back in, and we bounced back, and we had a good team under Tony. And then John came in, then we managed to win the trophy that day, and coming down with that open top bus was exceptional. And I can still remember the scenes coming down Easter Road and everyone throwing cans of beer and everything up towards us. And no, it was one of those days that you always cherish because it's the first ever trophy that I've won as a player, and it will be there in the memory bank for a long, long time.
Yeah, what was that like for the fans as well? Obviously we've got a semi-final coming up next weekend. Just give us an insight into what the fans were like in the celebrations at Hampden and on that day.
Yeah, the fans were exceptional, and I think they were a wee bit worried because of what happened a couple of years beforehand, but we played there and it was 5-2. We were exceptional that day against Kilmarnock, and it could have been a couple more, and it wasn't the lovely sunshine that we were wanting, but we managed to play some great football. We got some great goals, and it's confidence. You score a goal, you get that a little bit of confidence. The Hibs fans get behind you, and you never know what can happen at Hampden as well, and in semi-finals and cup finals. So hopefully Hibs manage to do it again this year. It would be lovely.
Yeah, absolutely, and it would be remiss of me not to talk to you about David Gray's testimonial as
the
well.
walking football game.
The walking football game. What was that like to be back out on here without a slope on the pitch?
Well, to have a Hibs strip on it's been probably about 15-16 years since I've played here for Hibs, but it was great to come back and to see the fans as well, because as I said, it was a special place in my heart and it's where I first started. And I did have an opportunity to come back, but for me, you never want to go back to the club that you started at, because a lot of people remember me as the young fit Scott Brown, and by the time I would have came back I'd been 36, so I was a very old slow Scott Brown. So for me it was just an enjoyment to come back and to play in that game, and it was an honour as well because Dave's done so much for this club, and especially the Scottish Cup goal as well. He'll always be remembered in the history books for that, and it's been a long time since Hibs have won the Scottish Cup, and it was great for him to get the applause for the fans and that little bit of respect as well.
Yeah, it absolutely was. Well, let's focus on today's game now. Before we do so, we'll just take a quick look back at our last outing, which was a defeat at Ibrox to Rangers.
Lafondra cutting it back into a good area. Venti picks up and goes for the near post. Hibs have a good opportunity here to try and create a chance as Miller sends it into the near post. There's space there, and maybe a chance for Ewan at the back post. Cuts it back. Rangers finally deal with it, but
Paul Hanlon has a great chance.
Can't tell if that was a brief VAR check there that was going on.
Don't know if they can do that, can they, when the referee's blowing the whistle? To bring it back for VAR.
Sima using his pace to get away from Miller. Sima's in. Sima scores for Rangers. And out of absolutely nothing.
But other than that, you know, apart from the pin ball, Rangers haven't really created anything, and I think a lot of that's happened. You know, they've got...
Raskan lines up the shot. Oh! Away too easily, and Levitt certainly has the ability just to try and calm things down and set Hibs in the right direction.
That's the thing. I think we certainly have that ability and that opportunity.
That's a great ball into Miller. Cuts it back with a header, and Suter. Sam Lammers passes a good one through to Dessers. Skips away. Can he score? Oh, that looked like a handball by Hanlon. Sima goes again, and this time it is 3-0. Tavares gets the angle for the cross and finds Ewan, who completely messes up the finish. Best chance.
It's been tough at times, especially that first 20 minutes of the second half. You know, it was difficult when we were under the cosh a little bit, but a lot of it feels as if we've created ourselves.
Dessers has the fourth for Rangers.
Well, we're just looking back at that defeat there, Scott. How difficult is it to respond from a game like that?
It's always hard because you're going to go back and analyse the game, and you can always find little bits. But at the start of the game, there's a couple of chances. Hibs score early, they quiet the crowd at Ibrox as well, and then it's the crowd get on top of you. It is a hard place once you're 1-0 down at home, but like, Rangers get that little bit of luck. They got the part to score a goal, and then the crowd gets behind them, and they've got a new manager there as well. And that's what they probably wanted early doors. But I'm sure Nick will have them ready for this game as well. And I know it's going to be a hard game because Celtic probably the most informed team in Scotland at this moment in time. Yeah. They had a hard game against Atletico just the other day there, so they'll be looking to hopefully have a quick start, Hibs especially, but it's going to be a hard game for both teams, and it's always, as I found it coming back here, it was a hard place to come because Hibs got a good couple of results against us here as well. They always play here, the crowd get behind them, and I'm sure it'll be a good game.
Yeah, you mentioned having a couple of chances early doors. How important is that clinical nature in front of goal today against a side, like you say, that's the most informed team in Scotland? Yeah,
but that's one thing about Celtic at this moment in time. They're ruthless in front of goal. Kyle go, Maeda's got a Duracell bunny. Honestly, he just keeps going, that lad. But I'm sure Hibs will be looking forward to that opportunity. A lot of people write Hibs off, but that's when usually Hibs bounce back and they come to their own, and they show, and especially the fan base here as well. I'm sure it'll be a hard place for anyone to come here.
Yeah, there's no doubt last week will have been a little bit of a learning curve as well for the players, obviously playing in a 4-4-2 system that they're getting used to. Do you think it's almost a benefit of having that learning experience against Rangers and then putting it into play a week later against Celtic?
Yeah, I'm sure Nick will have analysed the game, and I'm sure he'll thought what went well, what went wrong, and I'm sure he'll put this into practice for this game especially. But the thing is, he can jump in between a 4-2-3-1, 4-4-2, and I'm sure Nick will have them well organised and structurally secure behind the ball as well, which is a huge thing with Celtic as well, because they do catch a lot of teams on the counter with the pace that they've got to.
Yeah, they absolutely do. Well, let's hear from our head coach now, Nick Montgomery, as he gave his thoughts ahead of today's game. Nick, obviously we faced Celtic this weekend. How's the week been building into this game?
Yeah, it's been a good week. We managed to get a game in on Monday at Sunderland for some of the boys to get some minutes in, and yeah, the boys recovered well from the last game, and we've prepared as well as possible for what's going to be a tough game against a very good team. But we're at home at Easter Road, and we're going to have a good crowd, so everyone's looking forward to the game.
How valuable was that friendly against the Sunderland side? Because obviously I think there was almost 9-10 first team players that got minutes into their legs.
Yeah, it's always valuable to get minutes into the legs of the boys that have not been playing. It's really important that we have everybody ready. We've got a heavy schedule coming up. I've only been here for 5-6 weeks, so it's been it's been hard to see everybody in games, but I think it was a real opportunity against very good opposition to take the boys down to Sunderland, and what we got out of the game was minutes into the legs, a good performance and a win against a very good team. So again, any game is an opportunity to take a lot of things out of the game, and really pleased with the outcome.
Yeah, Celtic obviously had a midweek game. How much of an impact do you think that might have on Saturday?
I watched their game. The top quality opposition in Atletico Madrid. It was a really good game to watch. I really enjoyed watching the game. Super fast, really intense, and two very good teams. So they're used to it, to playing 2 games a week and playing in European competitions. He was at home, and they got a very good squad. So I'm sure that Brendan will pick a team that he feels is going to be the right team for the game against us. But when you got a big squad and a lot of quality players, it's a good opportunity for him to use his squad.
Yeah. Well, what do you want to see from your players this weekend?
Just want to see a little bit of a reaction from last week's result. A lot of positives to take out of the game. I just want to see us to continue to evolve as a team, to develop, and we're at home in front of our fans. So one thing that probably let us down a little bit was just transition defensively, switching off at key moments, and just real some basic errors that we made as a team in terms of our structure, defensive structure. So we've worked hard this week to fix that, because against the top teams, you can't guess. You have to do it right all of the time, because the moment that you switch off or have a lapse of concentration, you get punished, and that's what happened last week. So a lot of learnings from last week for myself and the team, but I'm definitely one that learns stuff in defeat sometimes are not great, but taking out of the game a lot of positives, and we move on to this weekend, and really looking forward to the game.
Yeah, more good news this week, because obviously seeing Chris Cadden and Harry McCurdy back on the grass working with the physios, how much of a positive step is that?
Yeah, it's really positive. The likes of Chrissy Cadden and Harry and Jake Doyle-Hayes, that's 3 players that I haven't had the opportunity to work with, but I know they'll be really valuable to the squad. So we're hoping that the next couple of months, and by January hopefully they can all be fit and ready to go, and that will be like signing 3 new players. So like I said, I've only been here 5 or 6 weeks. Unfortunately not had the chance to work with them on the grass, but I know they're itching to get out there, and of course they'll bring an extra competition for places possibly that we haven't had, and that's only healthy.
Absolutely. And in terms of team news for this weekend, is anyone back? Is anyone missing out?
Everybody's back fit. Obviously the boys that got minutes on Monday, that's positive for them, but now we should have a full squad, and I've got to now choose starting 11 and subs for the game, but I'll pick the team that I feel is going to go out there and compete and give us the best chance of getting a result. But everybody wants to play. It's a big occasion, as always, and we're looking forward to a full Easter Road and a real great atmosphere, as it always is.
Absolutely. Good luck this weekend.
Cheers, thank you.
Well, we just heard from Nick Montgomery just then. It brings me back to a point that you mentioned earlier on, the fact that they played Atletico Madrid in the UEFA Champions League midweek. Do you think that could have some kind of effect or fatigue on the Celtic team?
Yeah, definitely, because been there, done that, and we struggled after Champions League games, and it was out there. You went away to Kelly, you went away to Easter Road, and it was always going to be a hard game no matter what. But Celtic got a huge squad, strength and depth throughout the whole squad, so I'm sure Brendan will definitely make a couple of changes, try and freshen it up as well, and give other players that maybe not had a lot of game time an opportunity. But still, he'll be here to come and win. He's a winner, he's a fantastic manager as well, so I'm sure he'll have the lads organised and ready to go too.
Yeah, equally on the flip side, I suppose Hibs have had a full week to prepare. There was a bounce game on the Monday to give some of the players extra minutes, the likes of Dylan Levitt, Rocky Bashiri. That could have an important part to play as well, just in terms of their match freshness. Yeah,
Nick's just in as well, so Nick needs to see his whole squad and has to have that faith in the ones that he can put in, and the way he wants to play, he's got to install that into the team, and I'm sure he's been installing that weekly into the team as well. So for me, it'll be a good game as well, but it's more about how Nick's prepared his team, how he's playing his tactics, and I'm sure he's kept them right up his sleeve, and I'm sure he'll be looking forward to this game as well, because as I say, Celtic usually bring out the best of Hibs in these days, and it will be one of these good games to watch. And Nick will be in there, and I'm sure he'll be relaxed and make sure the lads are relaxed as well, but also they know the game plan, how they're going to play, when they're going to press, who they're pressing, and they'll know Celtic inside out, because they know the way Celtic play, especially when Ange was here last year. Now Brendan coming in as well, there'll be a little change in shape and formation, but it'll not be nothing major.
Yeah, it will absolutely be a great game, one that we're looking forward to. We're going to go to a quick break now, but make sure you stay with us, because we'll be hearing from Paul Hanlon and, of course, more expert analysis from Scott Brown.
When it comes to things that are exclusive to Scotland, we all have a thing or two to say.
They're amazing, they blew me away.
Superb.
Excellent customer service from start to finish.
First class service every time.
10 out of 10.
A fantastic sales exec.
Nothing was too much trouble.
Outstanding.
I wouldn't go anywhere else now.
Just some of the things that have been said about us. Macklin Motors, exclusive to Scotland.
I'm getting some work done. Enough of that. I am totally winning! Oh, and relaxing.
Here's your water.
With a coffee, thank you. I love this film. I'm doing all of this on my way to Mum's. Because it's all possible on an LNER train.
Next stop, London.
And I'm almost there.
Hello and welcome back to Hibs TV as we continue to build up to today's cinch Premiership game against Celtic. One man that's had an incredibly busy week ahead of this one is Paul Hanlon. He graduated from uni and made his 550th appearance for the Hibees. Let's hear from him.
Paul, it's been an eventful week for you. First of all, congratulations on completing and collecting your degree from Edinburgh Napier. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I obviously delighted that I managed to get to the end of the degree, get it completed. Started at, I think it was in lockdown actually. The actual start of the first module was, so I'd kind of planned for a while to try and do one. Obviously had a bit of time looking for a course that I wanted to do. And then lockdown kind of provided the perfect opportunity to start it, so got to the end now and delighted it's finished.
Yeah, and a few days before that, of course, you made your 550th appearance for Hibs. How much did that moment mean to you?
Yeah, it's great. Obviously, nice to get to kind of the next sort of milestone in my kind of appearances. I just obviously the day itself wasn't as pleasing, obviously with the result, but nice to get to that milestone and. Obviously hope to play many more games.
Obviously playing, as we said before, 550 games, whilst also balancing studies. How did you find doing both of them at the same time?
I really enjoyed it. That's kind of the the course that I've done, it was designed for athletes and sports people who kind of have that kind of ongoing sporting commitment. So it's really flexible, and I was able to kind of merge my studies around the football, and obviously making sure that it was never kind of taking my focus away from football really. So it was the perfect course, and really enjoyed it while I was playing, obviously.
On the pitch then, looking ahead to this weekend, how have preparations been going for Celtic on Saturday?
Yeah, really good. Obviously had a good review of the Rangers game, and what's went wrong, what we can improve on, and also aspects that went well in the game as well. So it's just about kind of, we've been working on it all throughout the week in training, and trying to implement it in the match.
Beat them last time that we played them at Easter Road, 4-2 it was. You were on the score sheet that day. Can you take confidence from results like that as well? Yeah,
obviously there's been a fair bit of change, but you always can, and going in the games at Easter Road, we're always confident we can win. So we're not take out a big performance, but as I said, being at home, we're confident going into the match.
Nice one, Paul. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Well, it's been quite some week, hasn't it, for Paul Hanlon. I wanted to start with his 550th appearance for Hibs. How important a player has he been, and how fantastic of an achievement is that?
Yeah, it's huge, and I'm sure Paul's got a lot more to give to the club as well. He's still learning, and as you say, he's went and got his qualifications as well. Him and Louis has been fantastic for the club, the foundation that they're doing as well, to try and build up a lot of things outside football, to hopefully bring more supporters into the club, and younger supporters as well, but also to make sure that it benefits the club as well. So, no, Paul's, he was here when I left, and he came through, and I've watched his career closely, and he's done exceptional, and he loves Hibs. He enjoys coming in there, speaks really well of the club, and that's what you want from an ambassador of the club.
When there's loads of change in a squad over the years, how important are figures like Paul, obviously as captain as well?
Yeah, Paul'll be huge, Dave as well, and Lee. They've been through a lot of managers, they've been through a lot of good times, bad times, and that's what football's all about. But you need these people to hold the club together, to hold the change room together as well, but also when Nick comes in, somebody you can trust, somebody you can rely on, that know that you've got their back as well. I'm sure Nick will be grateful to have them.
Yeah, and he scored against Celtic in a 4-2 victory here last year. Not known for his goals, but he can play an important part, can't he, in these fixtures?
Yeah, definitely, and he could have scored at the weekend there against Rangers as well. He was a little bit unlucky, but he's in the right place at the right time sometimes, and that's what you want for your centre half. When he goes up there, and you want him to make contact, you want him to be a nuisance in the box, and hopefully get on the end of something.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's take a quick look back at that special night here at Easter Road.
Celtic again in possession. Bernabei's ball in behind. Maeda, chance here for Celtic. Cut back for McGregor, he's missed it. Well, there's a challenge there, and the penalty kick has been awarded. Steps up, sends Marshall the wrong way, rolls the ball into the far corner of the net. Again by Doyle Heath, into the path. Cut over. This big chance for Hibs. It's in the net! And it's Johan! Well, it came out of nothing. From McGregor. Game ebbing from end to end at the moment. Ball played into the area. Oh, lands at his feet. He gets the second opportunity, and he pokes the ball beyond David Marshall. Doyle Hayes, right footed. It's a decent delivery. Well, there's claims for a penalty. It's given. Kevin Clancy points to the spot. Strides forward, right footed, and scores! Kevin Nisbet brings Hibs level from the spot. Patient in possession. Ellie Johan has it on this near side again with an opportunity to run at the Celtic defence. Leaves 0 for dead. Johan's effort driven, and Scott Bain has fumbled it into the net. Well, it was a speculative strike from the Frenchman. Doyle Heath into the Celtic area. Falls here for Henderson, edge of the Celtic box. Into the path of Miller. Takes the ball to the back post. It's a great delivery. It's in the net again. Hibs lead by 4 goals to 2. 86 minutes on the clock. Hibs floor, Celtic 2.
Well, that was a spectacular outing, wasn't it? How special would it be to have another game like that here?
Yeah, 6 goals, fantastic for both sets of fans, to be fair. But no, I'm sure Bain will be a little bit disappointed looking at that. But at the end of the day, everyone makes mistakes. But it's always huge when a goalie makes a mistake, and it's going to be one of these games. And whoever scores first will have the momentum. And Celtic will bring a good crowd, and Hibs will have a good crowd as well. So it's important, that first goal.
Yeah, absolutely is. And we spoke at the top of the show just about Celtic and their attacking threats. As Hibs, how do you stop that? What do you need to do to stop them?
You have to be switched on for 90 minutes, and you can't literally switch off at all, because Kyogo's movement in the box is exceptional. Maeda's movement, running power, getting after people, the press, they work hard at that, and you can see why they're so fit, because it's continuously. They do it relentlessly, no matter what, because whether it's against Rangers, Hibs, Hearts, or you go away to Atletico Madrid, they're trying to press high up the park with the amount of energy that they've got. And you can see it the other day against Atletico Madrid. For 70 minutes, Celtic were probably the better team. And then the last 20 minutes, Atletico Madrid come into the game, a little bit of composure, and then start to play. But for me, the way you've got to stop it is you got to make sure you're switched on, you're talking, you're communicating for 90 minutes, and you've got to have that belief in each other as well, because if somebody's one-on-one, yeah, you can go and help them out, but you've got to have that trust that you can deal with that as well. And if you want to play in a Hibs team that wants to be attacking, wants to play football the way Nick does, then you have to put that trust in each other.
Yeah, you absolutely do, and a result today could be huge as well. The table's so tight. I think it's just 4 points that separate 11th and 4th. It's so close, isn't it?
Yeah, that's one good thing about the table at this moment in time. You get a couple of good results, you're straight up to 4th, and then you're fighting for that 3rd position at this moment in time. But for me, I'm sure Nick will be in there, as I say. He'll be looking forward to the game. He'll have full trust in the squad that he's picked, the lads that will be starting, but also it's important the ones that are on the bench as well, because these are the ones that can either win or lose you the game. If they're not ready, they're not switched on, then mentally their focus could be somewhere else. But for me, it's 90 minutes of football, and as I say, Hibs need to make sure they are switched on, because that 1 minute Kyogo can get in behind, Maeda can get in behind, or you've got Cal McGregor that keeps ticking everything over him. Celtic's obviously got Carter Vickers that's back as well, which is a huge plus for them.
Yeah, and you'll obviously be watching the game just up there in the west stand.
As a neutral.
As a neutral. What's that like when you're watching a game like this? I bet you just want to get involved.
I'd still love to play, and even playing in Dave's game, I loved it, I enjoyed it, and playing a couple of charity games here and there, and I've kept myself ticking over, but I'm nowhere near this level now, and sadly I would love to be, but no, you always want to keep playing as long as you possibly can, but it becomes a time that your legs can't do it, but your mind thinks you can, and eventually there's younger players that are wanting your position, and they're going to take it no matter what. And that's one good thing about whether you're at Hibs, you're at Celtic, there'll be young players coming through, and if you get that opportunity, you've got to make sure that you take that. When you do get in there, you've got to give yourself the best opportunity you possibly can, and that's looking after yourself on and off the pitch, but also making sure that you're ready to compete with a Callum McGregor or Joe Newell, and hopefully go and take their position.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's all we've got time for. Thank you very much for watching at home, Scott. Thank you very much for joining us, and let's hope for another special afternoon here at Easter Road.